Ooh, get chilly all of a sudden.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. This is a very special session of Seasoned Snatched live with DeShawn Snow here at Core Studio. You want to say anything to the people this morning?
Good morning. Happy Friday. We are hyped. We both finished working out already and we're ready to start our day.
That's right. That's right. So we thought that we would come on here, collaborative. I've been talking about this whole thing of now is Seasoned Snatched. This is the time. Yes. It's not a better time than right now to actually do that thing that you're called to do and show up looking absolutely fabulous doing it. And so I have been wanting to create more conversation around this because the reality is that you can be experiencing so many things and think that you're on an island, isolated. It's only happening to you. You're only feeling those things.
Right. And everybody else is going through the same thing.
The same exact thing.
They're just not talking about it.
They're not talking about it. And so I was like, I really wanted to start having these conversations, around, really becoming the best version of yourself and what that actually requires. So today, that's what DeShawn and I are going to be talking about.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about become the person your next level requires, right? What does that look like? What does it feel like?
Right.
What is it? How do you show up?
You start showing up like that even before you're there.
Yeah.
It's a confidence.
It is. It's like, acting as if, so many times some people think that that's like being fake. It actually is not. Yep. You're actually calling things. Yep. Your faith in it. You're calling things into existence. Through being actually showing up and being it. It's like anything else. You take action, you take steps towards what it is that you want. And the fastest way to get there is becoming it.
Yep. And do it doubting. Even if you're doubting, even if you're scared, whatever, still do it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to just talk about that. So before we get started, let's get a little bit of cortisol cocktail going here this early this morning. Yes, ma'am. So we can get the day going even more. So I'll pass that to you. And every day starts off here. This is where the day starts off. I know for me.
Yeah,
how
for
we
sure.
keep revved up and everything.
Ice.
Yep, a little bit of ice. Because it's really all about, that was the thing for me. It was about how do you fuel your body? How do you have energy? How do you show up? And a lot of times that means you have to have support to do that. This is my little doohickey. I love my little thing, right? But it's like
a fancy one.
It's fancy. You should have saw the first time I did it. I had stuff all over the place. I was like, what is going on, right? Because I turned it off first and was like, oh, no, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is do that. You mix it up, okay, and then boom, boom, boom. Done. She's done. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's like, how do you actually become that next version? So one of the things that I know for me that was really critical was that next version of you requires that you have different habits.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, different good habits and let go of the bad habits. So what are you doing now, DeShawn, that aligns with who you're becoming?
Well, I think I'm not putting myself on the back burner. I'm giving myself permission to show up unapologetically. I am no longer negotiating with myself. So often, we'll show up for others and we keep our promises to others and we'll break our promises to ourselves. Yes. So I am very intentional on keeping my promises to myself. And I'm putting myself first, not in a selfish way, but in a matter of fact, intentional, purposeful way.
And so how does that show up? That's in the mindset. How does it show up in how daily you have habits? To shift? Yeah.
So daily habits. So I get up every morning at 3 a.m. So I call it paying myself first. So I get up at 3 a.m. I pray. I do my devotionals. I meditate. Then I drive out here and then I meet my trainer, her husband. I train and then I go do cardio 3 days a week. and then I start my day. You know, I'll take a nap or whatever. But I do all this before I start my day. So usually I can be ready for like a 9 o'clock Zoom or, 9:30 sales meeting.
And that's the thing. It's like if you start, I started doing that like clockwork in 2020 when Corey went away to school.
Yes.
It was like it was like he was away and I was trying to regulate my day and my whole thing of him being away. And when I started really getting up, praying, studying, and making it non-negotiable, and getting the downloads from God, like, okay, He tells you what to do, and I can remember so clearly being at the place where I would get up and just start responding to the day.
Yes, and then the day controls you.
It controls you. It's like literally, like I would sit there and then I find myself here, in a panic. Scatterbrain versus saying, no, I'm about to, first of all, start my day here. The first thing I do is I get up, thank you, God. The next thing I do is I start taking my supplements. No joke.
For sure.
And then I come into that place of being quiet to be able to hear. And then I move out, with the day. So then I also know that day is equipped with things. This is going to help me to be able to navigate what those things look like. So, one of the things I had to challenge, I did a live yesterday about how I had to purge my closet because I've lost the weight. And what was happening, it was the opposite. Sometimes when you gain weight, you're frustrated, nothing fits. So it's still the opposite when you can't fit the clothes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I know what I tell my clients. I got to purge and stage the doggone closet. And because it was like literally, for that next season. It's like literally, for where you're going, I started feeling like this urge, like for where you're going, you have to change all of this around.
And it creates space for you to expand.
Yes, but guess what? That's a habit. Because I had gotten so comfortable. I had got so comfortable being like, okay, I'll work out, and then I might end up in athleisure.
That's about me.
All day long.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, but you're a high ticket person. So you need to show up embodying that. So what happened? Okay, I'm going to spend the extra time to do this, and this. So that was my accountability to myself. It was like, I'm going to have to show up like that. And much like what you said, I'm going to tell you all for real. I would see DeShawn faithfully coming every morning. Hey!
Showing up tired, whatever, but I'm
showing up. And I would be walking right past the gym. Hey, see y'all later. Okay, have a good workout. Or I would do my walk and think that the walk it's a time and a place for walking, right? It is. It's a time and a place. It is.
Clarity,
But I knew that my body was calling for strength training.
Yes.
We knew it.
Be strong. We need to lift weights.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like I would see her and I'd be rah-rahing her on and hey, and then it's time to like,
have a good day.
So I was like, no, this is it. It's time for you to do that. And I can tell you it has been drastic.
Game changer, right?
Game changer. So, the thing about becoming that next level person is it's all about embodiment. I talk a lot about embodiment, and embodiment is bigger than appearance.
That's right. It's internal.
So people think that next level is about, like they hear us talking about losing weight or just looking good, but it's really how you think, how you move, how you show up, how you lead. So for you, what shifted in your confidence as you started feeling different?
In my body, as I started feeling different in my body. So that was like a tangible win for me. And so, because in other areas, I felt like I wasn't getting those tangible wins. So that was something that gave me that oomph to like show up. It gave me the audacity. It gave me the continence to like, show up authentically in other areas of my life. And so for me, this is like a non-negotiable, and it helps me stay focused and centered, and it helps me attack the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so what else, like in terms of for you, I know that it was really interesting because I remember asking you, I would be talking about my whole perimenopause thing. I was talking about it. DeShawn would be like, well, I'm not having any of that. she was saying,
all my best girlfriends, everybody going through it, but I wasn't having it.
I'm not having any of that. That's not me. She could not identify.
I'm 52. I'm not comparing menopause.
And so she was like, you can talk about it though, right?
Yeah.
So then she started.
Exactly right. At the dinner with you.
But you can talk about it. That's what she said.
You can have it.
So then what happens is now mind you, in August we were actually partnering with a different company. This is not the same company. This is not the same company. So when we were talking from that standpoint, DeShawn would often have me talk about it.
Yeah.
So then because she was like, I can't identify. So when we started with B'Neve and the cortisol cocktail you keep hearing us talk about.
I'm just gonna take a sip.
Yeah. When we started talking about this, I was like, DeShawn, I really think like you should try this. Well, I'm not having any of that. Okay, I just think you should try it. By this time you was working with Curtis for how long?
5 months. The gag was that I had been training with her husband for 5 months. I was diligent, consistent, eating clean. He was telling me I'm not eating enough, so I was working through that. But the scale was not moving. I lost 30 inches with him. But the scale was not moving. It was very frustrating. The previous season I had lost the 51 pounds over a year and a half. And then, or whatever, and took some time off. And so I was like really wanting to go to the next level, and it was very frustrating because I'm used to being able to do it. And so you all told me about this, and come to find out, because it has been a stressful season, so the stress, the hormones, all of that was holding me hostage. Yeah. My body couldn't release. It wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, regardless of how much I was doing it. So as soon as I started taking the cortisol cocktail, which is this plus something else, the Power 3, everything shifted. I mean, like within a week, I lost the 5 pounds, and I lost the body fat percentage came down, I think 0.6. That's not major, but for me, that was everything. Because when I've been frustrated for 5 months, I mean, I kept at it because I'm not a quitter, and I was still losing the inches. So, I was accomplishing something, but, I was like determined. I was like, this is crazy. So that just kind of motivated me to just like really take it to the next level. And then I started off with the first 2 products, and now I'm pretty much taking everything except for the collagen, which will be next. And it just kind of like skyrocketed everything. I'm like determined. I'm on this rebuild journey. I really want to like lean out and build muscle, but it gave me another boost. It kind of activated me.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's kind of like,
plus the energy and all the stuff, the mental focus and all that. But I wasn't having like, and not just Brandi, everybody in my life, everybody that I love, the hot flashes, the brain fog, all of the things. I mean, I guess I had inflammation and the bloating and all of that. I was like, I'm sorry, that's not my ministry.
Right, that's not my ministry. But it's crazy because you don't, I know when I first started with the whole perimenopause thing, I didn't even know that certain things were related. I didn't. Like my eyes started getting dry. I was like, what is going on? I'm thinking it's something to do with my eyesight. It literally is related, right? Yeah. All of the different signs that were happening that I didn't know, because when you're growing up, they only tell you about the change. They don't tell you hot flashes.
Yes.
They don't tell you about anything else that could be happening or that it could even be affecting you here.
Oh, yeah.
They never
Anxiety
talk about
and
that.
Depression, a lot of people
they never talk about that. That's one of the reasons for these conversations, because it's like
give it language too.
Yeah, because I didn't. It was like once I started talking about it, people were like, "Yeah, I am experiencing this." You don't even know it until somebody else actually says something. So I think that that leads me to like how alignment really creates momentum, because I really believe that when your body and your mind and then your actions finally start matching where you're going, not where you've been.
Right. The next
but where you're going, everything begins to change. And I think that that's one of the things for me. It was, I could tell that those things were manifesting in my life in terms of that next season was coming, but the resistance was coming because I was having the brain fog, and I wasn't supported, and then the frustration came. So the turning point for me was getting things that supported me for this particular season. Yeah. And you got to be kind to yourself and say, when
give
you
yourself
need help.
Because we're not called to do it by ourselves.
And even inside of that community, like one of the things that I realized before was that, okay, like every book that I've ever written has been something I've overcame.
Yes.
And then I write it so that it's a guide for the next person.
Blueprint.
And that's what I feel like this is, because you look at it and you say at first, okay, yeah, I want to be snatched. I wanted all of the things. You want that.
But it's deeper than
But
that.
it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, wow, these amazing people that are experiencing similar things, and they're not all women, there are men too that are experiencing things. And you're saying, yeah, this is the time when we want to show up. And now we're creating community around what that looks like. You know, what that looks like to actually show up in this season. One of the things that made me say that I wanted to start supporting people and even sharing the product was because I was just like, I knew like 9 out of 10 people I was talking to was going through the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I felt like, okay, well, you're gatekeeping.
Yes.
You know, if I don't tell you, then you're gatekeeping, knowing how it helped you,
right.
And you know these people are experiencing that. So I think let's talk a little bit about, you know, that whole thing of being in a position. Both of us are in a position where we influence people, you know. So being in that position where I'm sure for you, I know it happens for me, I know it happens for you. People come at you with all different types of things to do.
Yeah.
And I know I turn down most.
Yeah.
Because
it has to be in alignment.
It has to be in alignment. So talk about what that means now to even be partnered with them, and even your personal people, like your sister, people who have been
and they're changing
things.
lives. Like if my sisters, they're having amazing results because I love, you know, when you experience something that's like kind of for me it was game changer. You want to share that, especially with your loved ones. And so, you know, with them, like my one sister, her hot flashes are gone. My other sister who hadn't slept past 3 a.m. in 18 months woke up 6:30 in the morning. This was only after a week. So I think it's important because like with me and everything with the rebuild, I'm very authentic and transparent. And so I show the things and even all the struggles because it's not easy. So that's why you see the edited clips, but you also see my bloopers and stuff because it's real life. And, when it worked for me, I had to tell people.
Yeah. And I
to
think
guide them, you know, because everybody, life is enough, right? Life be life. So why take on extra stuff when you don't have to?
Right.
Why fight battles that you don't have to?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If there's something that can help you, why not do it? So that you can show up to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And so, you know, one of the things that we're doing tomorrow, actually.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be doing, like, if you've ever been interested in just like both of our, you know, in both of our groups, you've ever been interested more to hear a little bit more in detail about these products, some of the things that we do, some of the things that we do to become that next level person. We're going to be tomorrow at around noon. We're going to be doing a Zoom that you can get a special invite to. It's a private invite. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you can just comment Zoom in the comments. When you see the replay, you can comment Zoom. Or if you know us, you can DM us personally, text us, etc., and we will pass you that because that's going to be really cool. Like, you know, we're going to be able to just kind of like peel back the layers and tell them a little bit more about what we do and how we use the things that we use.
And what we use it for and what it helps us with.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that tomorrow, like that'll be your opportunity around noon. At noon. That's
12 o'clock.
That's that
Eastern.
Southern coming out of me. Around noon, 12 o'clock noon, just DM or put in the comments Zoom. And we'll give you a private invite. You can be our guest.
Yes.
And you can learn more.
Absolutely.
Well, this was great.
This was fun.
This was great.
We have to do more often.
We have to do more. Okay.
I don't hardly go live on Facebook, so I need to do it more.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.